Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Raiders of the Lost Commentary podcast. This is Adam. Matt can't be with us this week. Don't worry, he's still alive. We were supposed to have an indie filmmaker on this week to discuss his documentary he made, but unfortunately that did not work out for scheduling this week. We will have him back. So I thought I'd stay within that same vein of indie filmmaking this week and go through a short film of mine, and I can delve into a bit about the making of that film. If you are an indie filmmaker out there and you want to showcase your work or do an unofficial commentary track for your film, reach out to us on Twitter at Lost Commentary, and we can get together and do a podcast. Without further ado, here is my film, Track and Field.
Out of a DeLorean?
Welcome to the Raiders of the Lost Commentary podcast.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
The unofficial commentary for your favorite
Get to the chopper!
and not so favorite films.
The famous comedian Arnold Braunschweiger.
Starring your hosts Adam and Matt.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Start your movie in 3, 2, 1.
All right, Track and Field. So this is a short I made a few years ago. We made it specifically just to put in a film festival that's sort of near us. And it was one night shoot. We rented a bus in the middle of nowhere. It was like a country bus line. It's pitch black where we are out in the country there. Like the only light really that we're getting is a bit of light from the bus depot, which is a small outdoor light. And we just had one large LED light lighting the whole thing. We wanted sort of a realistic sort of look to it. And I actually used a anamorphic filter on this short. It's sort of a front attachment onto a lens that would give that anamorphic look. So if you look, there's like the fringing and flares that we get, like those niceness you get out of a anamorphic lens. Obviously not as good as a real anamorphic, but still had a neat effect. Now the story of this this film actually came out of Tim, who was on the right there wearing the toque. He actually did go to a bus or a beer festival on a bus, and it didn't go quite the way he thought it would, and he did have to pee. And so sort of what you see it near the end with the cups and everything, it's similar to what goes on in the film. He was telling us at the pub one day, and we're like, we should just turn this into a film. So we broke down his story, and then we sort of dramatized it, and then we switched out Matt, who's his actual brother, for his girlfriend who was in the film. And this is something I came up with, the drawer of the pee being in like him, like a visual representation. And I thought it was just silly idea of just seeing a movie about somebody having to pee on a bus, because while we were doing this, like, everyone's got a pee story. Like, I almost peed my pants. I did pee my pants. Or like, just a story like that. But I don't know. We just thought everything would just get worse and worse and worse for Tim as things kept going on. Again, this is all just lit with one light and a cell phone light, and we kind of wanted sort of a dark vibe to this film, and kind of hide the fact that the bus actually isn't moving. It's stayed parked in that exact same spot that he was in. So a lot of this film too is just, there's no real script. We just had like a outline, and it was just Tim kind of going beat by beat, and all these sort of inserts were filmed after. The game app was just something I made quick in After Effects. And again, we just filmed this over one night. It's no real crew, just lav mics on the actors and a camera. Shot it on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, and it's a cool little camera. Like it's not like it's got its limitations and stuff, but it has a cool effect. Oh, again, the bump thing. Again, like this didn't happen in Tim's original story, but we sort of dramatized it, and then this whole thing. This is where the track and field, the name comes from, and this story about Tim having to go pee when he was a kid, and he goes into this long monologue as if, I don't know, something really traumatic that happened to him as a kid. Tim really does really well in this scene. It's kind of funny. I don't know, he kept making us laugh, and it's kind of fun. Our good friend Jake is the extra in the background. You'll see some other extras in a minute there. Some other friends of ours that act in other films. We've made a few, films in the community, and we're working to get our first feature film. Well, their first, my second feature film out in the world pretty soon. So we will have a podcast about that. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, this film is basically just Tim acting and Matt reacting for 10 minutes, and I don't know, people, when we screen this at festivals, like I said, we made it for one specific festival, but we screened it at a few different festivals, and it goes over really well and usually gets a conversation going after about what the people's stories. So I thought, like, also while we're filming this, that we need to sort of seclude Matt and Tim and sort of start getting the camera closer and closer. So that's one of the reasons why I shot it anamorphic, because that anamorphic gives kind of that, I don't know, very close focus, Matt and Tim are shoulder to shoulder in a school bus, so they're very, very close. And the lenses we were on, a 24mm lens, is still pretty wide lens, and having the anamorphic adapter on there just singles Tim out well, and then it also gives that really, really wide cinematic look that everyone's kind of used to. I love how Tim gets really dramatic with this story. It's very funny to me. Yeah. So again, the idea of the short, they're supposed to be obviously drunk, coming back from a beer festival, which is something, I don't know where everyone else is from, but from where we're from, every now and then there'll be just a beer festival and people will just get drunk in a field, and then a bus will take you back to town. Pretty fun. And so, yeah, this is something else. We thought we'd dramatize what would happen if he actually peed. This is actually really funny to me, him peeing on the windshield. Just that someone would do that. I don't know. I think that's hilarious. This pee stream obviously is not him actually peeing, but yeah. Also, just how if you have a drunk friend, he's trying to help you, but he's really not helping you. He's just talking at this point. So, just that. And then we thought everything would get into Tim's head here and just start, everything would start to build up, and everything would either annoy him or have sound of dripping or just an annoying sound. This is our friend Amanda. She's in our feature film. She's been in some other shorts of ours, and that's actually her mom, which is also kind of funny. And John, our other good friend, actor who's worked with us on a bunch of projects. So we just figured we just got to get things to escalate and more. And again, here you see that anamorphic effect coming into play here. We just thought we'd just amp this up and just move the camera around his head and sort of, I don't know, brings things up. Again, this is just one LED light sort of lighting this whole thing. Just a big, powerful LED that's, if we had money, this short was made for $500, we might have been able to afford, a bunch of lights on dolly tracks to simulate cars driving by, or actually have the money to drive the bus down the street, but that didn't happen. We've also thought it would be funny, this idea of just dramatic, like 2 actors, 1 location for a short, and just like escalating something that's such a simple thing of just having to pee, and so I guess according to Tim's actual story, this is something that actually happened, that somebody threw away cups. So we thought we'd like turn this into like this massive miracle moment. That's actually just a still image that we animated. We could never get the cups to land right either, so that's why this is like that. And if you look close in the reflection there, you can just see the guy holding the light to get that effect. This is also something we thought would be really funny. Or no, rather, like Tim peed in 1 cup and then peed in the other, and then splashed the 2 all over himself. So I don't know. I'd be nervous about peeing into just 2 cups. I don't know. I feel like I would fill 2 or 3, and then when he stacks them, and then that's hilarious to me. And so we filmed this way out in the country, and then we drove quick down into the town we're from, and we filmed this part out the front of the pub. And then poor Matt had to spray water all over his pants. If you listen close, you can hear the band. And then we put the bass on a true story just to make people laugh. And that's it. That was sort of the film. So this is sort of an experiment. And again, another experiment with myself just doing a solo podcast. We made that short. It was kind of fun. So if you have a short, like indie short or indie feature or anything, reach out to us, and we can Skype and we can do a podcast. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Lost Commentary, on Instagram at Raiders of the Lost Commentary, and like us on Facebook.
I'll be back.